Coach, good afternoon.
Good
Hey,
afternoon, Thomas.
we're finally at the end of the road almost with the Big 12. So kind of a two-part question. When you first came back here, what's been the biggest difference with the Big 12 now than when you were here with Coach Barnes? And then number two, when you start talking about specifically the SEC, what's the one thing that makes the Big 12 better in your opinion?
Well, Thomas, I think this. Um, I think I've been a part of the Big 12 for 14 years. I was first year of the Big 12. I was a part of the Big 12 at Baylor, and I don't think there's ever been a time that I can recall where the Big 12 wasn't good in basketball. Um, I think this year in particular has probably been the deepest from top to bottom of all the years that I've been a part of the Big 12. But the Big 12 has always had great representation in terms of 6, 7, give or take 8 teams that were always really good in basketball. It's always been a physical league. It's always been a league that's had great coaches that have won national championships. Um, it's always been again a league where you've had tough venues to play in, uh, night in and night out. I think when you talk about the SEC, I think I'm not going to say it's not as a physical league because there are some teams in that league that are very physical. Coach Barnes at Tennessee, they're a pretty physical team. Um, but I think it's more scoring probably. Still have good defensive teams as well, but I think the scoring is probably up just a tad. In the SEC, well, they're getting out and playing probably more in transition. I think the Big 12 has always been a very good defensive league as well. Teams put a big premium on their defense, half-court defense in particular. So I would say those things probably more than any that hopefully that answered your question with the Big 12 and SEC.
Eric Henry, please, sir.
Good afternoon, RT. Just want to ask you from a scouting perspective, with the also now being in a tournament and games being played back to back to back. Does anything change from a staff perspective as far as how you guys prepare, just from a scouting perspective, or is it just kind of business as usual, considering the fact that you're very familiar with the teams in the league?
Well, I think our preparation and our staff's done a great job with preparation all year and having our teams prepared for our opponents that we're playing. We pretty much attacked it the way we have all season long. We do a great job among ourselves in terms of everybody has a role in the scouting process in our organization, and everybody's pretty much stars in their role in that regards. We have the offensive side where guys do a great job, and we have great manpower to do that. We have the defensive side, we have great manpower. We have special situations, that entails baseline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds, last play situations, special plays that guys run for those type of situations as well. So it pretty much stays intact. We have a constant voice all year long, and I think that helps our guys. One voice that presents, and I think that gives us really good continuity throughout the course of the year.
Josh Newman, please.
Hey, Rodney, how difficult is this time of year, specifically with, the Big 12 tournament will end Selection Sunday, you're scouting for an opponent, but the portal window is also opening Monday. How do you balance the portal window in the middle of a season still?
Well, I think, Josh, you have to have you've got to be extremely organized. I think you have to be organized from the very beginning, though, not just now. We've been organized for a while, and we have an encyclopedia of a lot of college games this season that we've seen played. So as guys enter the portal, we'll be very familiar with their teams, very familiar with players as well. And we have a process and how we go about trying to identify who would be the best fit and best situation for us in terms of wants and needs, and also looking at who you would possibly have back as your core guys as well. So all that comes into play. But right now, we can concentrate and control what we can control, and that is trying to win games in March, trying to have a March mentality. We have a really good team that we're playing tomorrow night in Kansas State that we have a lot of respect for. And we're going to have to play our best.
Just to follow that up real quick, as you guys go into the portal and try to find pieces that fit, is it difficult to do that? Just again, roster construction, the season is still happening. Maybe you don't have a full picture of this current team in terms of who's leaving and who's not leaving, trying to find portal pieces.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is just going to rush to a quick decision without having all the options available for them. I mean, there are going to be kids in the portal early that may have an interest in a school that's going to play throughout Monday night, and so I don't think you're not going to get completely behind in terms of having an opportunity to get a kid that could potentially fill a need or want for you. So I think what you do is you live where your feet are, and we try to put our team in the best position to be successful in our contest that we have. And for us, the only one we have available right now is the one against Kansas State. So that's what we're locked and loaded with. We can't really worry about the portal a whole lot. We'll get to the portal when we need to get to it. But right now, we're trying to win a postseason game against a really good team in our league that's, going to cause some challenges for us tomorrow night.
Kirk, please.
Rodney, you guys have won 3 of the last 4 easily. Could have beaten Baylor and Waco to make it 4 straight. Do you get the sense that your team's confidence is probably the best it's probably been all season?
Well, we hadn't talked about it a whole lot, but I think, as the season started, we knew our team was going to be evolving throughout the course of the season, because of the way the adversity we had to deal with in terms of guys coming back from injuries and surgeries and things of that nature. So we knew we weren't going to have our team for a better part of the first part of the season. And even then, each time a guy came back, our team changed, So this is the team right now, I think, in playing at the level that we're playing right now, that we envision as our guys got back in the fold. And, I think, again, we're playing at a high level. I think our guys, Warren and Corey, have both done a great job in keeping our guys on the floor and playing through, injuries to this point right now. But we're just, evolving into the team that I thought we would be by this time of year. And, we've got Dessou playing, at the level he's playing. Caden Cedric is healthy right now, so I feel real good about where we are right now and what we're doing. And really guys have bought into their roles in terms of what we need them to do for us to be successful at a high level.
And one other follow-up real quick. You guys have played really well on the road, and, I know you've won at places like Tech and TCU and so on. Is there any reason why you think maybe at times this team just plays better or so well on the road? Any particular reason?
Well, I think this, Kirk. I think, for us, I mean, we've got a good offensive team. I think we could score, and we've shown we could score against some of the better teams in the Big 12. We got some elite defenses in the Big 12. I think we finished second in scoring points wise and stuff. So our numbers offensively were really, really good this year. I think, wins and losses get down to your defense and having a defensive mindset. And I do think we've improved over the course of the season with our defense. But on any given night that we've come in and we've had a lot of energy and activity on the defensive side of the ball, we've been extremely good. Whether we were at home, we like to say that, hey, you know what, to go on the road, your defense has to travel, and you have to have that same type of energy and activity. But when we've been locked in on the defensive end, man, we've been really, really good, whether we were at home or on the road.
Terry, go ahead, please, sir.
Good afternoon, Coach. So I'm curious, how are you coaching the team and maybe some of the players right now? We know that you're going to be talking defense. We know that the aggressive defense is going to be number one, but I'm curious some of your other, the fine details. What are you saying to Shedrick? Caden? What are you saying to Tyrese as they go into this? Those little tiny details that'll make a difference.
Well, I think this time of year, teams that are playing at an elite level and teams that are trying to play at a level where they're competing for a championship. I think everything centers around the details You know, you hit on that earlier in terms of, you know, we're all in routines right now. The teams that do a great job communicating in film sessions, they do a great job communicating in walkthroughs. They understand the significance of how hard they have to play and the urgency you have to play with right now. You know, you go to a practice, the coach shouldn't be yelling at you about some of those details. You know, whether it's an offensive detail to where you have to continue to reverse the basketball, make one more pass. Um, you know, you're supposed to be a tag in the pick and roll situation. You're supposed to be on the white line. You know, all those things right now at this time of the year, you got to be locked into the details. And teams that do that at an elite level, a coach basically is just an orchestra. He's a guy just waving the one, and those guys are doing their job at an incredible level because they understand what it takes to win at this level right now. Those are the most successful teams this time of year because again, they're a lot of times coach led and they hold each other accountable. Coaches are gonna put guys in the right position, right situations, but those are the teams that have a chance to continue to finish and advance this time of year.
And so just to follow on to that, do you feel like for this game coming up, you're the conductor? All the players are ready, the instruments are ready?
Yeah, I think we're playing our best basketball right now, you know, and you know, I think again when we're locked into the game plan and guys are playing hard and competing at the level we want to compete, I think you know, I like what we're doing. I like where we are right now at this time of the year.
I've got three last ones in the queue. Tyler Feldman, go ahead, please, sir.
Rodney, I saw Sark spoke to the team. It was posted on social media. Pretty cool. What do you admire most about Sark as a coach? And then what do you think was the biggest inspirational takeaway or biggest message that he left for your team going into March?
I think the thing that Sark resonated with our guys yesterday was that Sark first of all, is one of the elite coaches in all of college football. You know, he's a brilliant mind, offensive mind. I mean, you know, his offensive play calling is elite. You know, and I think it's the culture they developed over in football, along with the talent that he's assimilated. Is second to none right now. I think the thing that he really tried to echo to our guys this time of year, you don't want to have any regrets. You know, you don't want any regrets that, man, I could have did this better or I could have done that better. You know, your preparation has to be on point right now. It trumps. There's no pressure if you have preparation. Now you're able to go out and play, leave it on the field, leave it on the court. You know, but I think that was the one thing I think that really resonated with our guys, along with, you know, playing together, playing for one another, you know, and being selfless this time of year, you know. And to be honest with you, I mean, this time of year, you know, you got to go for the knockout punch this time of year in terms of, you know, he had a great illustration of what that looked like for our guys. You know, can you knock someone out with an open hand? Or can you knock someone out with the fist? You know, and, you know, they have that competition where they're slapping people, right? No one gets knocked out with the slap. They can get knocked out with the fist, right? So we got to have that fist. And he gave a great illustration of you have to have a fist. This is what knocks you out. And that's what you're trying to do in postseason play. You're trying to knock someone out. And for us, that's for 40 minutes.
John Hyde, please, sir.
Coach, you talked about you guys playing your best basketball right now. What are some of the main things you want to see your team continue to do as the tournaments begin?
Well, I think over the course of the season, Joe, we've gotten better taking care of the ball. So valuing taking care of the ball, not beating yourself. I think continue to be in attack mode on offense and defense. We've gotten a chance to get out and really play fast. We're a fast team. You know, we like to push the ball hard and have really good pace and space to where we can play offensively, sit down and try to guard defensively and finish possessions where we can get out and play to our strength and play fast. But those are the things I like to see our guys continue to do. Value putting, you know, consecutive stops together over courses of the game gives your team a chance to be successful at a very high level.
Last one in the queue, Joe Cook. Go ahead, please, sir.
RT, you got a lot of guys from the team that won the tournament last year, but you also have obviously Max, who played only in a Summit League tournament. You also have Kendall, who went one and done in the WAC tournament. So with those two guys who you rely on a lot, what are you trying to look for this week from them as they enter a postseason tournament they've really never had to be a part of in their career?
Well, I would say this, Joe. I mean, Max has won his conference tournament to go to the NCAA tournament. You know what I mean? That's a whole different deal. When you're coaching and playing at the mid-major level, you can win your league just like they did and won every game. It doesn't matter. You have to win. You have to win that conference tournament, and you got to go in and you got to play great every night for 40 minutes, whether you were 16-0 or whatever in the league play. So I think what Max was able to do in the Summit League, you know, is more difficult than what we had to do in the Big 12, to be honest with you, because you got a big old bullseye on your target every night, and if you lose, you don't go to the dance. You know, so I've been a part of that, and there's nothing like that at the mid-major level where you have to prepare your team and coach your team to be at their best for one weekend. You know, I think for us coming into this tournament, we're going to take it 40 minutes by 40 minutes. We're playing a really good Kansas State team that we have a lot of respect for. We know we're going to get their best game. We're going to try to bring our best game in terms of how hard we compete on both ends of the floor. But we're gonna come in and compete at a high level.
Joseph Duarte, go ahead. We'll stick you in. Go ahead.
Rodney, along those lines, this time of year, how much do you have to balance either improving seeding and also keeping your team healthy and maybe not, because you have, you know, the possibility of playing what 4 in 4 days or 3 in 3 days. Is that a concern in terms of how you approach things, or is that just not possible this time of year? You have to go out there like it's your last game each time.
Well, I think it depends on where you are health wise. I mean, last year we came into this tournament and we could have played Timmy Allen in this tournament, and it probably would have been better for us going into the NCAA tournament. Though we needed a full healthy Timmy Allen in the tournament, as opposed to a guy that could have played through a little bit of the injury, but we're still going to have that injury again in the NCAA tournament. We didn't need that. We had that. It was a next man mentality. Someone else needed to step up and play, and we were able to do that. But I think you go in with the mindset that all you have right now is 40 minutes in front of you. That's all that's given to you right now, and that's the mindset we have going into this game with Kansas State. We've got 40 minutes in front of us. We want to be the best version of ourselves for 40 minutes. You know, try to, again, compete at a very high level like we have all year long. But we're just promised 40 minutes right now to try to play the best we can. And I think you put the guys that you have out there in the best position to try to be successful to do that at a high level, and you live where your feet are. You don't ever try to get too far ahead of yourself. Outside of, if you have a guy that, you need to try to have ready for the NCAA tournament as well.
Thank you all. Appreciate your time today. Thanks, Coach.
Coach, thank you.